heard our rap? Me and Harleen had
give
written
us-
a rap.
give us
Okay,
some-
so Harleen usually sings the rap. I'll try it, okay?
Sure.
So it starts with rap. नाम के पीछे कौर है, लोग कहते इससे थौर है, पंजाबियों की शान है, ये लड़की शक्तिमान है. मारती जब ये 6 जगह करे दिलों पे फिक्स, पब्लिक मचाती शोर है, जब मारती हैरी 4 है, ना देती कभी गाली है. दैट्स sarcastic. सो मैच खेलने वाली है, पूरा करना सपना है, वर्ल्ड कप अब तो अपना है, क्योंकि नाम के पीछे कौर है, लोग कहते इससे थौर है.
I love that song.
She's got the whole world grooving to her tunes, especially after that historic performance against the mighty Australians in the World Cup semi-final. And I just love hanging out with her. So I walked across to our favorite neighborhood cafe to catch up with my neighbor, a gem called Jemmy, on L'Oreal Paris Presents Breakfast with Champions.
So listen, my first question is, from the last time you were here, which was what, about 2.5 years ago, what's been happening?
Nothing much. Yeah,
Anything special? Anything big happened?
just one tournament happened where we just got the World Cup. That's it.
अच्छा, इधर बैंड्रा का? Yeah.
बैंड्रा नहीं, नवी मुंबई थोड़ा.
अच्छा.
थोड़ा सा ही दूर है, but हाँ.
पर नवी मुंबई का वर्ल्ड कप के? उसका?
नहीं यार, वर्ल्ड कप bro.
What is it?
Go.
What is it? Yeah, but what happened? Tell me the hours after the final.
Hours
you
after
get
the
the
final.
trophy and then what the hours after the final? Tell me how it was.
So firstly we revealed our team song.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard it.
Yeah, of course.
So from 4 years, so every time we win, we sing that song. Otherwise, we don't get to sing that song. But we are like, we'll only put it out once we win, and that happened at the center
Correct.
pitch where we played. I remember we were there till 3:30 a.m. Still at DY Patil.
Wow.
Finally, I think the groundsman have put the lights on.
Yeah.
That's when chalo niklo type ho
Chalo
gaya
bahut ho
tha.
gaya.
Yeah, and the hotel was like we could just walk to our hotel from.
Correct,
ground.
it's the one next to the, yeah.
Yeah. We went there, message came on the group, there's a party, freshen up and come. Everyone came by around, I think 4:30. Then that was the first time in these 45 days our team has seen the sunrise.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, nobody's woken up so early. So yeah, we saw the sunrise and everything. And then after that, we partied all night, had a lot of fun, clicked few pictures. And then suddenly it's like the trophy was gayab from the party.
Hey.
And then we're like, where's the trophy?
You're like, ये Asia Cup थोड़ी ना है?
ये कहाँ गया? Where is it? And then suddenly one post comes out on Instagram and the person who stole the trophy was me. It was in
Oh!
my room, I'm cuddling with the trophy.
And the celebration of picking up the cup, whose idea was that? It was yours only.
Everyone mixed. So first we were like, maybe we'll do the same thing. Like, no, let's have our own thing because it's our World Cup. Let's do something different. Then we were telling Harry, you know what you do? You take the cup from Jay sir and you start doing bhangra with the cup.
Yeah.
Harry said, तुम लोग पागल हो क्या? मैं कैसे लगूंगी ऐसे? Like, no, yeah, Harry, do. Like, नहीं, मैं नहीं कर रही ऐसे. Then something we figured out and then we're like, hey, Harry, we can do this. So you get the cup closer, we do, hey, and you pull it back.
Yeah.
Hey, and you pull it back. And third time, we all go together like that.
Yeah.
Said, okay. Then Smriti comes in. She's like, Harry, I will not talk to you if you don't do your bangla step. Like, Smriti, मैं कैसे करूँ? I don't care, you have to do it. I think that was my favorite moment. It was so cute, you know. She came in before meeting Jessa. She was like just doing that bangla,
Yeah, very
and then
cute.
she took Arya. It was very cute, and then we had that celebration moment.
Smriti and you like Jay and Viru? One sec, have you seen Sholay? I'm guessing you probably haven't seen Sholay.
I have.
Man, you're also wearing the denim jacket.
Only one bike is remaining.
Yeah. Just
And
imagine.
then-
Can you imagine? I think we should make a. This
should, yeah.
is where you make a meme of you and Smriti on that motorcycle. You in the sidecar and she's riding it. The sisterhood that comes across in this team, like it makes my heart happy because you can tell there's no acting in this. वो दिखता है सामने कि सब है ऐसा.
It is.
And it's not just with like 1 or 2. It's quite a large bond that you guys have.
I'll tell you, GK, this team, I've never seen such a bond. Like in all these, I think 7 years I've played for India.
Yeah.
The bond this team had, especially during this World Cup, was something different. Yeah. I can't explain it because it was like if someone's doing well, like you said, genuinely, dil se everyone was happy for that person.
Yeah.
But also when someone was having a bad tournament, there was always someone with their arm around their shoulder saying, no, it's okay, we believe in you. And this team is tight.
Yeah.
You know, it was tight. And I think somewhere that also played a little part in us winning.
That entire night, those few hours, of you guys winning, the few overs before that, then winning the game, lifting the trophy, the entire celebration that we all saw on television. I'm sure you must have put on your social media the next day after that.
Yeah.
Was it like a dam had broken open? Was it like a deluge of messages? And did you just see in front of you a kind of shift, a kind of change that has happened?
Yeah. I mean, actually, after the semi-finals only, I literally, I'm not even exaggerating, but I had 1,000 WhatsApp messages. And I don't know how people got my number. Like, everyone had my number.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. And then we were playing the finals, so I was like, I'm going to uninstall because it was bothering me. I just want to focus on the finals. And yeah, after that, everyone got their phone and messages are just flooding. And there were so many messages. But at the same time, everyone just wanted to be in that moment and enjoy it. Just enjoy. But the change we saw was after that what happened. The next day we went to Delhi, we met our Prime Minister, our President. The next day I came back, met the CM of Maharashtra. That afternoon flew for Big Bash. So I was like, okay, now at least I'll get some time to let everything sink in because none of us got time to let anything sink in. Those 45 days, match's body had taken a toll, mentally I was not there, but then I had committed to the team. So I said, okay, I'll go there and we'll see what happens because it won't be that intense at least. So I remember going to the airport, everyone wanted a picture and I was giving pictures and everything. I said, okay, chalo, fine, now it will die down. Then went to the lounge. Lounge mein also people started recognizing, everyone started coming, gave pictures. I sat in flight, chalo, now. Suddenly one guy said, oh, Jemimah Rodrigues. And I'm like, I gave him a picture, I met him, I spoke to him and I had a transit from Hong Kong. I said, chalo, Hong Kong mein so nobody will. I walked off, didn't realize it was the same flight from Mumbai. So there were still people coming over there and clicking pictures. But then, after that, when I got on the next flight to Australia, that's when I got some time to breathe.
Yeah.
And I remember this thing that happened in Sydney. We were playing, and so to walk through our dressing room, we got to go through the crowd. Yeah. I'm trying to get through my dressing room, and I am surrounded by all Indian fans in Australia.
Oh,
Yeah, and I was like, I've never seen such a sight in Australia. So I stood, I gave pictures, everything. Then our physio, she saw that, okay, I think Jemmy just
needs a bodyguard.
Needs someone. So then suddenly she asked, Jemmy, are you hungry? I was like, oh yeah, I've not eaten. She's like, come. And she pulls me out from there. She takes me to a parking lot and makes me sit in the van behind and she's like, you're not getting out from here. If you want food, I will get. But don't get out from here because there were a lot of people there.
Don't put a kid in the back of a van. It's scary. I think what you did in this semi-final directly reminded me of what kind of Harry did 8 years back, the 170 odd, which was 2017, right? It's so interesting that Harry was on the other end with you.
Yes.
It was almost like kind of passing the mantle forward to a younger player. And that knock for me will always be in my head as that moment where I kind of saw it shift. What you did in that, you just kind of stood tall and you took those bullets, and for all of us as fans, was just one of those moments that make your heart swell so much it almost bursts. I can't even imagine what it must have been for you.
I'd spoken to Virat once about this.
Yeah.
And I asked him about that Melbourne knock. And I was like, this knock is like something, it was a crazy knock. Like, what was going on in your head?
Yeah.
Like, how did such a knock happen? And what he told me was like, Jemmy, even if I want to take credit from that knock, I can't. If you ask me to replicate that knock, I can't. I was just grateful that God chose me in that moment to be that person to take India through.
Wow.
And when that World Cup semi-finals happened, I just remember what he said. Because I couldn't take credit. Not that I changed anything in my practice. My preparation was the same. Everything was the same. But it's just like, you're just chosen for that moment.
Yeah.
And things just happen. I think that was one moment for me and I can't take credit for it.
We're not complaining. We're not complaining.
When I was playing that match, it's just like sometimes you just go in the Zen mode where you don't know much about what's happening around. You're just so focused about, we just got to win this match and make it happen. And usually, we knew we were about to win. Like 2 runs left in 9 balls, we knew we were supposed to cross. Usually I always have some celebration, I'll jump, I'll do this. But till that run didn't get scored, I had nothing. Like, I was blank. Yeah. And the moment I went for a boundary, Aman hit that shot, I hugged her, I picked her up, and I just bursted into tears. And I had not planned that. Like, that was not planned. I didn't even think I would cry. But I don't know, it was just that moment, a World Cup semi-finals at home, in front of my home crowd. with my parents there, and for everything that happened over the last 1 month, I think
Yeah.
all that was just bottled up and it just came out. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's special.
And just playing against that team who's won, 55 World Cups.
Correct.
You guys played Australia the first time. उनसे हार गए उधर मैच में. And then you come in the semi-final और सब इधर ये लोग बोल रहे हैं कि अरे कैसे होगा यार, हमारी टीम बहुत अच्छी है पर वो टीम तो क्या-क्या काम करती है. So what was the chat with you guys? What was in your mind?
I'll tell you one thing what happened before the semi-final. So we got to know after we played New Zealand, after the next game we got to know we will play Australia in the semi-final. But there was a different kind of a piece about it. And then there was someone spoke about it also that, actually Australia is the most vulnerable in a semi-finals than a final. Because they also lost to South Africa last year in a T20 in Dubai, where we played the T20. They lost in the semi-finals. And when Harman scored the 171, they lost in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
So we were like, maybe all that has happened, it might be for good. So that was the conversation that happened. But actually, when Australia scored 339, I think, in the semi-finals. So when Phoebe Litchfield and Perry started batting, the way they were going, I was like, bhai, aaj to 400 hai.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, and I started stressing out a bit because it's like a do or die game, It is a semi-finals. I'm like, how will we chase 400? So then I was like, you know what, Jemmy, I can't control that.
Correct. और इतना आगे मत सोचो ना.
So just feel and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But then I think for our bowlers in the last 10 overs to pull back the way we did, even though they have such a strong batting order, and for them to score 339, then it just became like a perspective thing. I was like, oh no, I was preparing for 400, but 339
तो discount
actually
मिल गया.
feels high.
Discount
it
मिल
feels
गया.
feasible. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel too bad. And even when we went, I think Richa was there, and we were like, actually, they're 20 runs short.
Nice.
That was the conversation that happened. But I think, like, even for me, after the semi-final, it was still not sinking in that we won.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think maybe we were in that zone where, okay, one more match to go. But that was the entire team. We had a team meeting where Amol sir spoke and he was like, I know what has happened has been crazy and you guys deserve everything. But let's, for one more game, just keep everything aside.
Yeah.
He's like, just stay away from social media, which everyone was actually doing.
They're good at it.
But I also know one more thing that is going on. Nobody spoke about it loudly because nobody wanted to be negative. But there was a thought कि shit यार semi-final तो जीते Australia against, but if we lose in the final it will be
बहुत बेइज्जती होगी यार.
बहुत बेइज्जती होगी. मतलब I know people were thinking but nobody spoke about it.
Yeah.
But we are like no, let's just keep that aside and there's just one more game to go. I think we played some crazy amount of cricket over the last entire 2 years, which has been great. One more match, let's just focus for that, and then after that we'll see what happens.
Oh, thank you. I could smell it before
Yeah,
it
I
reached,
know.
na? It's coming.
Oh, that looks good. Yeah.
That's the sweet potato fries. These are some Korean chicken skewers. Grilled chicken, which is one of the most.
Beautiful. This is my favorite thing to eat here, by the way.
Okay.
Would you like to be a MasterChef judge at some point?
No.
You don't like food that much?
But Smriti would be.
Is Smriti that much a foodie?
She is a big food. She used to watch MasterChef a lot.
I also watch MasterChef.
Yeah. And she, even at home growing up,
Yeah.
her mom used to make dal and all. She's like, the texture. And all these things, and mom will like, hey, eat stuff like that. My uncle's here. I told you this is the adda.
So what people, we should tell people कि ये तो पूरा ही हम लोग अपना गांव में शूट कर रहे हैं, अपना neighborhood में, ठीक है?
How many steps? 10 steps you walked and came here from your
About
house?
25.
Sorry,
Effort करना
25.
पड़ेगा.
25. Mine's close by. A 5-minute drive.
And your brother's studio is the next building.
Right next
Your
building.
cousins are over
Yeah,
there.
they are all practicing for Christmas.
You're quite close with your entire cousin gang, right?
Yeah.
How big is this team?
It is, I think, some 12 to 16. And also in church, we've all grown up together also. So if you add everyone, almost 20 to 25 of us, then full danga. So once, I'll tell you the story. We were at an auditorium where we had a church program. So church was going on, all the kids were outside. And we were like, chalo, let's play chappal fight. So we are playing chappal fight over there. And it's like, you have to go to the first floor, but there's one
Landing.
level. There's
landing.
one level left. So we started playing like this chappal fight and all that. And my cousin Rachel, she threw her Crocs.
How old are you at this time?
I think 8 or 10, something like that,
Yeah.
around that age. And it goes that side where it's like a wooden thing. And like you have to jump across to go that. I full hero. I like, wait guys, I will go.
I got this.
I got this. and there's one box, okay? I put my leg through that and I fall down from there.
Ore.
I fall down from the first floor. And luckily there was someone down sitting and eating food. So I fell on her head. If I
What?
would have not fallen on her head, I would have maybe even... My cousins on top were like, Jemima! They thought I died. Because I fell down. You can't see anything. It's not gone over. So they are like all crying and everything. And then suddenly I'm so blank because it was a shock that I fell down. And then my uncle comes from there. He's like, oh no, what has happened? He runs. And oh, so there was a nail. So a nail has scratched me here. Just scratched me. I got saved with that also. He comes, Jemima, are you okay? Thump karke, just like that. And I start crying. So yeah, we've done a lot of dangas.
like-
lot of dangas.
I was okay till you punched me. I was fine.
Yeah.
Is that the same uncle who's sitting outside?
No, but his daughter thought I died. Rachel, yeah. We played chappal cricket also.
Explain.
You have to put the chappal like that. That's the grip you get. There's a plastic ball, the chotu plastic ball, and you have to hit shots. One tap is out, direct on the wall is out, straight behind 4.
कौन खेला है चप्पल क्रिकेट बताओ? 3 भाई है ऑस्ट्रेलिया में जो खेले Oh, what a bad joke, yeah. Oh. Greg, Ian and Trevor. Oh, what a bad joke, yeah. Tell me something, when you got dropped, right? Because you spoke about this a lot, about the anxiety that you felt. And what happens then in your head? Do you like kind of start questioning it? Like, do you start questioning your self-worth? Does that come into play? How does that work for you mentally?
Yeah, actually even before entering this World Cup, me being dropped from the previous ODI World Cup was there in the back of my head. But I didn't give it much thought, but it was there. I mean, I'm human, it will always be there.
Yes.
And I had a very good 2025. So I was like, chalo, like things are going well, let's just continue that form. But then it so happened that at the start of the World Cup only, the first match itself, I got out on the first ball. And that kind of shook me. And I was already starting to feel very anxious about the World Cup. It being a home World Cup means expectations are going to be there. There are a lot of people around. 2 games I got to start. I wasn't able to convert it. Got out on 0 again. And then the Australia game where Alyssa Healy chased that score, where I finally felt like, oh, now I got that knock. One knock, you need to get that confidence back.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, now things are, I think from here it will pick up. And then it so happened I was preparing for the game against England. I get a call from Amol sir saying that I need to talk to you and stuff like that. So then I was like, okay, I figured it.
You kind of knew
I
what it
kind
was.
of knew where it was headed.
This does not sound like good news.
Yeah. So, and then that happened and they were like, it's a team decision and we need to get the 6th bowler in. And unfortunately, you have to miss out. I said, okay, sir, no problem. Whatever the team needs. But then I was shattered at that time because there was already a lot going on in my head. Back-to-back things were happening which I couldn't really control. And then on top of that, being dropped. So as a player, I could say one of the worst mindsets.
Yeah.
Not mindsets in the sense that just the headspaces. I was not doing great. I went on the ground because at the end, okay, India's game, it's an important game. We lost the last 2 games. We need to win it against England. So I was like, I'll not show anyone my emotions. I went, I helped out, I did everything. Came back and we lost that game. And that was like even worse. And we're losing the 3rd game in a row. Is this the end for us? So a lot of emotions, a lot of things were going on. And I remember then we flew back to Mumbai. And I was on the flight, Aru was sitting next to me. I just started hearing one song which got me really emotional. Like I had a pillow, so I just hugged the pillow and I started crying into that pillow. And I couldn't stop. Like, because there was a lot inside of me and I didn't know how to express what I was feeling. And Aru was trying to stop me because there were people around. Then we went back home. I remember the nets of the New Zealand game. I was like, I didn't know if I would play or no. But I was like, no, I need to prepare because what if I play? But at that time, I was just so frustrated. Like my mind was really, really frustrated. I was trying to have a positive approach. I was trying to not be frustrated, but I couldn't. And I walked into this from the first ball, I was like hitting every ball as if it's a T20 match. I was just hitting because I just felt like that was the only place I could just at least express myself and remove
Release.
my frustration, because I was very frustrated. And that's when Smriti walks in. And I don't know, I think she would have figured being Smriti. She walks in, she didn't say anything, because she one word she would say, she would just say, kya hua Jemmy? And I would start crying, and I wouldn't. So she was just around, just talking. She helped me a little with batting and stuff. I just went into the nets, and then I just started batting, like just batting. Few things me and Smriti discussed, we worked on, I worked on that. She was there, she was watching. And like I said, that day I batted for 4 hours. Smriti was there. Once I finished only, that's when she went to the gym. She delayed her gym session and all that. Aru went back because everyone had left. He said, come to my room once you finish. I go to a room and I start crying again. Like, I don't know, I just couldn't stop crying.
You needed this, yeah.
Yeah, I just had a place to vent. I mean, for her, firstly, to, like, she was not playing the matches. I know it was hitting her, it was pinching her.
Yeah.
But for her to leave everything aside and look out for others, and not just me, she did it for, everyone in the team who she felt that, okay, she needs to go and be there.
So sweet, yeah.
She did it for them.
Yeah.
And she's like, Jemmy, I just feel for this World Cup, my purpose is bigger than myself. It's to be there for others. And I was like, hats off, like crazy, yaar. These things are matter to me more than even a World Cup. Like, if you know in what context I'm speaking.
Absolutely.
These kind of relationships,
Absolutely.
the people giving their life out for me and just being there for me and making me feel valued beyond what I do, I think that's what matters for me. Then I said, I'll go home and I'll spend time with Jade. Jade is my dog. So I'll just, have a good time and all that. So my mom, my dad, everyone had gone. My granny and Jade were at home. Then I think Mama had sent me one song, something she had sent me. I something happened, it's like, let's just go to church. So I go there, and then our pastor, he saw me, oh, do you want to speak something? I said, yeah, I want to speak something. So usually when I go to church, I'm very positive. I always tell them that, God is good, even when bad things happen. Don't worry, things will change, and all that. But that day I just went and said, what guys, I'm not doing okay. I was not doing okay for a month. And my only purpose of coming here is, I know so many of y'all are going through this. But I just thought if I come and be honest with y'all, I think that might just help someone else. And that's my only purpose. I don't even have faith to say that I know God will turn around. I don't have the faith right now. But all I'm asking y'all is to just pray for me. It was just like I vented everything out, and around that time it was like 10:30 something, and the team comes out and I'm playing. That's fine. Then I'm heading back to DY Patil. So my mom and I was like, no, we'll come. I said, no, I want to drive alone. I want to go alone. So around a 1 hour drive. And for some reason, I don't know, I just felt lighter. Like, I couldn't explain it, but it just felt like all that negativity, the baggage I was carrying, whatever I was feeling, it just went away, and I just felt lighter walking back. And when I went back, I went straight to, everyone was in the room, Aru, Smriti and all that, they were chilling. So I went and I was being myself after a very long time. Next morning, I wake up, I go for breakfast, and I have this bright, big smile on my face. And that I don't know when was the last time in that entire month that something like that happened. So, I was myself, I was talking as if, there's no match. Otherwise, I'm very serious on match day and stuff. Like there's nothing. And then my cousins had gifted me one t-shirt, okay? And it says, max to max, what will happen?
Oh, I like that phrase.
Yeah.
Max to max, what will happen?
Correct. So, it's just a joke that, whenever we have curfew time and all that, and we want to spend half an hour more with our cousins. So I am the one giving them gyan. I'm like, max to max, what will happen? Your parents will shout at you. Take it. At least you'll enjoy this half an hour. It's bad advice, okay? But
Great.
But yeah, so my cousins, for my birthday, gifted me that t-shirt. Max to max, what will happen? So I wore that t-shirt. And then I think Smriti knocks and she needed something, protein powder or something. And then she's like, she reads that t-shirt, hey, max to max, what will happen? I was also thinking the same thing. Because it was a do or die game, New Zealand game. And Smriti is asking, "Tu theek hai na? Pata hai na, aaj match hai. Tu itna khush kyun hai?" That's what she's saying. So I'm like, no, I'm good. And Aru came then. Aru came and I told her everything that happened. And I'm like, today, and I'm at peace with things not working out today.
Great.
And
Okay.
that is not me.
You are okay not being okay.
Not being okay, yeah. Even if today's match I go out there and I don't score, I think I'll still have the same peace.
Yeah.
Before that, my peace was very related to whether I do well or no. But then I don't know, and it was not something that I got. It just felt like it came.
Yeah.
It just came, and then we go in. New Zealand game happens. Smriti gets 100. Pratika gets 100. I'm nicely chilling. I'm like, oh, I'm number 5. Renuka's drawing a more over there. Did you see that? Peacock.
No, I didn't see
You've
that.
not seen that?
No.
Oh,
Google karo.
So, we were sitting out and matches, everyone was nervous. So Renuka's like, you know what? I'll just draw a peacock, a more. Because it's a sign of positivity or something. It will take my mind off the stress that's happening over there. She draws a more and I think Smriti scores a 50. She shows the more on camera.
Yeah.
And then after that, Pratika's about to score a 50 or something or something like that. She writes 100. So 100 more. And
Nice.
then 100 more and then Dil Mange more.
Yeah.
So for the next celebration, when Pratika raises a bat, she shows it like 100 more. You need to get 100, not
Yeah.
just 50.
I have to see this.
You
I
should see
completely,
it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
completely missed it. Dude, this is so funny. It's a very well drawn.
Well drawn more, na?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've seen Majnu Bai in Welcome?
Yeah.
Renuka's next.
She
She'll
Majnu
come
Bai.
with the specs like that.
Is that the name you've given her? Majnu Bai.
No, no. And then suddenly Haridi walks in the 28th over. She calls me, Jemmy, come here. I go. She's like, after 2 overs, if the wicket falls, you're going in next. I'm like, I didn't show it to her, but inside essay, my reaction was, oh, I'm next. Very nervous that game. Very means very nervous because important game for us also. But I don't know, for some reason, something on the inside was just give yourself 10 balls.
Yeah.
If you get past these 10 balls, you're going to be fine. Because I was getting out in the first 10 balls only. My dad always told me this. He's like, you can always get runs smartly. Because when I started my career, I played a lot of T20s. And I just saw like Sophie Devine, all these hard hitters coming and smacking everything out of the park. And I was like, okay, I think I got to do that to be successful in T20s.
Okay.
But that's when my dad said, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Even by being smart, you can get those runs.
Yeah.
They hit up, but nobody can pierce the gaps the way you do.
Yeah.
And what if you start accessing areas which people usually don't? It will be a headache for the bowlers.
Strength nahi, smart.
True. So I'm like, okay, I'll still be positive, still look to score, but simple, like as straight as possible, proper compact cricket and stuff. So yeah, then that knock came, I got past those 10 balls, and then I think a lot of people talk about the semi-final knock, but that it was kind of a quarter-final for us against New Zealand.
Correct. Yeah.
But to get those 76 odd runs at that number and to go there, I think that was also really special. And that gave me a lot more confidence going into the semi-final.
So this basically happened because of Majnu Bai. Majnu Bai ka more brought you good luck.
You know, a lot of positivity, you know.
Yeah. I think that
For
should
the
be.
artistic work.
That should be it. What are the other nicknames in the team?
In the team,
Yeah.
our nicknames are pretty simple.
Yeah.
Richu, Deepu, Jemu. So it's all the you. Yeah.
Harman can be.
Harman is Thor Didi.
No,
Harman is Thor. Yeah. He's Thor Didi.
I like it. It is so obvious.
Yeah.
It was right there.
Yeah.
How did nobody picked this up before? Oh my god.
I'll tell you one thing about Haridi that, you know, on field you see her this aggressive kind of a person, but actually off the field, she's like that emotional person.
So you can
know,
emotionally manipulate her.
Yeah,
I
and
get it.
she'll give everything for you. Like, she's that kind of person.
Huh?
DRS also.
Yeah. DRS also.
We have a world record, okay?
Tell me about it.
No, I think there's something we as a team are working on, but we are the most unsuccessful.
Yeah, reviews. Who? Jamie will tell us today.
No, actually, we've come a long way. Initially, when the DRS just came, the moment it hit the pads, all 11 deep mid wickets say, "Leno, Didi, Leno." Harry Didi, like, just give me some time to think, okay? Harry Didi, मुझे लगता ही है वो out है.
And then gone.
Gone. But then we just nominated few players like the keeper, the bowler, and Harry Didi, of course. And then we're trying to figure it out. Yeah, but we'll get better at it.
Yeah.
We have team bonding dinners.
Yeah.
So in that, I play a huge role.
You're the
along
chief,
with-
the CFO, the chief fun officer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, along with Hadleen. So we have games. Once during the Asia Cup in Sri Lanka, we did a treasure hunt in the hotel. So we made 2 teams, and the most enthused person about this treasure hunt was Amol sir. Like, Amol sir loves team bonding sessions. And he'll call me like 10 days before we're having on 8th, okay? So we'll plan something. I was like, yeah, sir. Then next day at breakfast, he'll meet, Jamie, kuch socha hai? I'm like, no, sir, I'll think, don't worry.
That's cute.
There's a rule in our team that every newcomer has to go through ragging, whether it's support staff or a thing. So you can either sing or dance. Amol sir sings. So Amol sir actually carries a mic with him.
क्या बोला?
He'll kill me for saying this, but he actually has a mic with him.
That's sweet, yeah.
Actually, his first year also, we were like, okay, you're the head coach, but this is a tradition, team tradition you have to do.
देखो रिवाज है तो रिवाज है.
हाँ, करना पड़ेगा. So he only told me, Jemmy, I have a mic in my room. So I said, हाँ sir, give, I'll go get it. So he's like, yeah, I'll get it. And then he sang on the mic, but he sings really well. He loves singing. We had a karaoke night also.
Nice.
So everyone had to sing. I wouldn't tell you about it. The singing.
You have to tell us now. How can you do this? People are like writing in comments
not
saying,
like that.
Acha.
You wouldn't want to hear.
Oh, acha.
hear
You
the
can tell
singing.
me about it, but I don't want to hear the
them
songs.
singing, yeah.
Tell me one thing. Who was the most out of tune?
I think Bali sir. You know what? Which song he sang? He took the mic and like, Lakdi ki kaati pe goda. Once we made them do a game that there were shots kept over there, 4 or 5 shots. All the newcomers had to come there. They had to get to the shots without using their hands.
Oh,
So that literally people were like rolling on the ground trying to, push their legs into the shots and also all these funny games and all that. But
you
it's a lot
said,
of
you
fun.
said shorts. I started.
I didn't know.
Like, ये क्या हो रहा है भाई?
आपकी बात मत करो.
हमारे लिए T20 means tequila 20.
My dad actually teaches geometry, by the way.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, my mom and my dad, we have coaching classes called Scholars Coaching Institute,
Yeah.
where they teach maths and science. And now mom to teaches everything now, from 8th to the 12th. So yeah.
Wow, he teaches geometry.
Yeah.
How does this happen then? How do they say कि मतलब अच्छा नहीं पढ़ाई नहीं करो? Because for a kid to play professional sport, parents have to be actively involved all the time.
100%.
So how did this mix kind of happen at home?
So my dad loves cricket. My dad's my coach even till now.
Yeah.
Our family business is coaching classes, like tuitions,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. So that's how it was. But growing up, I was always a good kid. Like I used to get 90% and all that.
Still a good kid, yeah.
But my dad used to bribe me. He used to be, I hated going to school. I didn't like going to school. I wanted to play the whole day. He used to say, you know what? Just play for India before you reach 10th standard. Then you don't have to go to school. I'm like, हाँ यार, this scheme is good.
ये तो अच्छा है.
ये तो अच्छा है. And then he's like, you can play for 6 hours, but 1 hour every day you have to study. So that was the rule in the house, even for my brothers.
Yeah.
Then I played for India, I think, when I was 17. Then mom and dad are coming, no, I think you should study a little more. I'm like, well, आप लोग ने ऐसे बोला था.
पहले ये तो cheating कर रहा है. Cheating है,
Like,
cheating.
नहीं, what harm? Go do it. You don't have to get good marks. Just pass and all, it will help. I said, okay. From there, they made me do graduation. Graduation के बाद M.Com. So I'm like, चले.
You done M.Com also?
Yeah, I didn't get time to complete it, but I've done. Yeah.
Wow. Oh.
In my team, I'm, I think, currently the most educated person.
Jamie मेरी जान मैं तेरे कुर्बान मैं तेरा तू मेरी जान सारा हिंदुस्तान.
What is it about the bucket hat?
I feel like I'm their brand ambassador. I think wherever I go, I talk about them. So they're a group of fans
Yeah.
coming in, and they just cheer for you, and they come up with amazing
Tell me
challenges.
some, na?
So we were playing this test match at Wankhede, and you know Aussies. Aussies are always like the bullies, okay?
Yeah.
Megra did a misfielding.
Yeah.
So suddenly this whole group of people, and they're loud, okay? They're like, she can't see the ball, she can't see the ball. Talia Megra, she can't see the ball. And it was like for the
It's like
first
catchy.
time, yeah. Aussies didn't bully us, but
Yeah.
people from outside were bullying the Aussies.
Nice.
I don't know if they knew it then, but all we used to talk about during tea, during lunch break, was about their chance, and we used to say it in the dressing room.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was so catchy, but it was so cool.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we spoke to the Aussies later after the tournament was over. They were like, it was affecting them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like it because these some of these Aussies are pretty hard with the sledging as well, right?
They are,
They come
yeah.
and have a word.
Yeah, I'll tell you. During this test match, so all this masala has happened here really.
Yeah.
So Richa and I were playing. So I was speaking to her, and then in between the overs also I was constantly speaking. I'm like, Richa, good shot, or well done, acha, aise, and all these things. So then Alyssa Healy from behind, she's like, hey, your mummy's talking to you, go listen to her. Next over, first ball, Richa hits a square cut, bullet one for 4. Richa turns back and said, Mummy told me to hit a 4.
Oh, nice.
And then she's like, ah. Before, I don't think we should speak a lot to the Aussies.
Yeah.
But I think after this WPL and the WBBL happening, I think we have made some of our best friends from the Aussie team.
Now that you are with DC, little J not so little no more.
Not so little anymore.
Little J, Skipper J. So how does Skipper J feel about being skipper?
To be honest, I've always loved this leadership role. Like I've been leading Mumbai from I think when I was 16 or 17.
Yeah.
And I always felt that whenever I've got this leadership role, it's that added responsibility has got the best out of me.
Yeah.
And also I feel as a captain, as a leader, I want to be the first one doing it before telling someone else to do it.
Great.
To be honest, I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
Never led a franchise team. But I'm sure like everything happens at the right time and maybe it's come at the right time for me.
10 years from now, like a show like this is happening and Australia wins the World Cup beating India, they're like, how did you think that you'll be able to beat India? Because they've won all these World Cups, right?
Yeah, but
As
they
the
will not beat
Australian
us,
team,
yeah.
how will you?
No, but I
20
get
years
what
from
you're
now.
saying. Okay, fine.
30 years from now. I mean, 30 years from now, I won't be doing this. But 30 years from now, when a show like this is happening in Australia,
Yeah.
and they're asking Australians, did you ever think you'll be able to beat India? You can't. You can't. You can't do it, mate. You can't do it. Nice.
That'd be crazy, yeah.
I'm proud of you. Proud of you, little J. Always proud of
Thank
you.
you.
Amazing. Huh? World Champion J. Amazing.
But I like your name also, yeah. Uncle GK.
Oh, yeah, why is it?
I have to bring it out.
Cut!
Thank you so much for enjoying this episode of L'Oreal Paris Presents Breakfast with Champions. I've got many more champions and their stories lined up for you because they're worth it, and I look forward to bringing them to you because you are worth it. See you next time.